Christian, it is great to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for having me out here.
I have, so you're at the in lovely Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace. You are represented by Global Athletics and Marketing. One of the people I worship, Mark Wetmore. I got to put that in there because then he'll give me my compensation of $2.20. But so you went pro last spring.
Yes.
And you, we were just chatting offline that you went pro to compete. You wanted to get a mark at the Prefontaine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
tell me about that life experience, because a lot of people drool about the pre-meet. And what was that like?
It was incredible. So I had run 336 at the 1500 at Oregon Relays, and after that, New Balance kind of came to us and made an offer, and they said, you don't have to sign now. You can sign after NCAAs. You can sign right before USAs, but the offer's there. And I wanted to run it pre to chase the 335.0 mark.
Yeah.
Because I thought I had a legit chance to, scare the podium at USAs. And the training had been going well.
Mm-hmm.
So we signed right 2 weeks before D2 Nationals, and ran a pre, ran like 338, just didn't quite have it. Long season of, racing doubles and triples at a lot of meets. So just the loads just stacked, and didn't get the mark, but the experience was great, and had a good experience at USA's. Didn't make the final, but I learned a lot and had fun.
Cool. You are now being coached by Mark Coogan, and he was a 96 Olympian, and I've known him since college. It's great to see his group. How big is your group?
Yeah, so I think we have 9 or 10 women,
okay,
and then just 3 guys. It is.
Who are the other guys?
Yeah, so we have Drew Piazza, he runs the 800, and then Sean Patterson.
Okay.
So he is from Youngstown State, and he just joined in December, actually. So we have a small little group, but...
Do you guys train together every day? Or?
Yeah, we meet as a team every day and do all of our runs together. But
from the
workout,
New Balance place?
Yeah, from the New Balance track.
It's
we have our own.
place.
We have our own little team locker room area.
Nice.
So it's pretty nice. Yeah, but it's great. We have Johnny Gregorik's in Boston, so I do some workouts with Johnny and Brian Schrader, who's just coming off a couple halves. So yeah, we have a nice little group that we meet pretty regularly. So
I know Johnny's dad. I ran against him in college, and I get to see him every once in a while, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
they're
it's
great.
really a trip to see Johnny, and remembering it. Sometimes I have to kind of go, oh my God. It's
very similar.
Yeah, it keeps it kind of fun. What is if you were talking to a group of college athletes, what would you tell them is the biggest misconception about being an elite athlete?
We have a lot of free time, it's coming into that transition of college to pro. You've looked up to these people for a long time, and then you get into the lifestyle, and we're all just normal people. Everyone's very down to earth, very welcoming. I feel like that's been like the biggest, not shock, but just just hanging out with these elite athletes. It's really cool, to feel very welcomed, and to come into this atmosphere of the pro world, and have someone like Johnny help me navigate through this. We hung out a lot during the fall and did runs together, and he really gave me some good advice on just being true to yourself and sticking with your training, be consistent, and don't try and look at someone else's training and compare yourself. Just stay within yourself, and do what works. It's been fun. So the biggest thing has just been how friendly everyone is. And
you ran the 3000 at the New Balance Indoor.
I did. Yeah.
And it seemed to me as a breakthrough race for you.
Yeah.
Tell me about that race. I'm really curious your thoughts, and I want to ask a couple of questions afterwards.
Yeah, so I had talked about doing the mile first, and then I saw Jake Whiteman was doing the 3K, and I was like, okay, I want to do the 3K. I want to mix it up with a world champion.
Yeah.
Just kind of see where I'm standing fitness-wise, because training in the flag was going so well.
Yeah.
And the 3K, it was supposed to be paced for like 4:04, maybe close to 7:35-ish pace.
Yeah.
But, the field didn't really go with the pacer, so the pacer kind of backed off, and we all kind of bunched up, and the pacer stepped off. But I knew at that point it was going to be a kicker's race, and I just knew that Woody was behind me somewhere, and I know he likes to make a move, and whenever he goes, I wanted to be ready for that. And, going the bell lap, he made that move. I got tripped up just a little bit by the Irish guy in third, and kind of had to chop my step. But Woody closed in 25. I closed in 26, just like 1 second off of him. But I really thought I had a good chance to win, and I kind of like had to convince myself that I can beat someone like that. And it was a huge stepping stone. I got a lot closer to some big goals, and
what did Coach tell you afterwards?
He was really happy. He's happy that he could see that competitive side, and to run with those caliber athletes who have competed at global championships. I think it was good for him to see, and he was very excited, and we were all very excited.
Is he real talkative after a race with you, or is he? Because I've watched him in different situations, and I can see when he gets excited and when he's really happy.
Yeah.
But it's also that coach athlete thing is a whole different world, and I'm just very curious.
Yeah, we were just more excited right afterwards. There wasn't really a whole, let's break this apart, because the race just went so well at the end. We knew like I did what I had in the race, and there wasn't really a whole lot to break down. But we had talked about it a few days later, just that like I executed well. I put myself in it. And, the biggest thing for me for that race was getting a good start. I feel like I've kind of liked that. At pre, I kind of didn't feel like I belonged a little bit, and I kind of went straight to the back, and USA just kind of went straight to the back. So it was just getting a good start and just believing that I could be up in the front, and that was a huge step. And then kicking with those guys was a big thing, and Mark liked to see that, and I'm glad I could execute on that. So that wasn't a whole breakdown.
Are you a 1500 guy wanting to go to the 5000? A 5000 guy wanting to be a 1500 guy? Pure 1500 guy?
That's a great question. So I used to do the steeple a lot. So I
cool.
was primarily a steepler. I run 835.
Oh, okay.
Did that back in 21. I didn't do it last year. But yeah, I run 336, 1324 last year in college. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could have run a really good 5 last year, and I feel like I still had maybe a 334 in me last year. So I'm not sure. We're gonna run a 5K at some point this year, and then we're gonna switch back to the 15.
You gonna try steeple again or not?
We talked about it, but I think just with how well the mile went this year indoors, like I ran 353.5 at BU, and I did a lot of it from the front. And Amos and the guy from South Carolina, they just not used me, but just sat on me, which I would have done that too if someone just pushed it from 800 out. But yeah, I want to say I'm a 1500 meter runner, but I think later on I'll be more of a 5K guy. But
what makes BU so incredible? And I've been asking everybody who's raced there now, because I was on my walk the other day, and I'm talking to a coach in Boston, and his comment is 52 guys break 4 minutes in the mile. But why aren't there that many guys breaking 148 and 800 on the track? Why aren't there guys running a 3000 fast there?
I think a lot of college kids want to be a part of the group. When you want to break 4, you go to BU.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people used to go to the Husky Invite, and I
Yes.
feel like over the last 3 or 4 years, it's BU.
Yeah.
Let's go to Valentine. So I'm the assistant coach at BU. I help out with their program.
Really?
So yeah, so like we had pacers through Heat 8. We had people pacing it for sub 4 all the way through Heat 8. MIT kid ran 355 in Heat 7. And the atmosphere is electric. Like I've never seen so many people. I've been to a few BU meets as a college athlete. I've never seen quite an atmosphere like Valentine. There was 100 or so athletes spectating just on the infield, wrapped all the way around. You can kind of see their heads, like as you're racing, peeping, and as you come closer, they all kind of, as dominoes, bring their heads up. It's kind of crazy. It's very loud. I can't even remember what I was thinking about, but the atmosphere is just so electric, and you can't find it anywhere else at the moment, at least.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you like about coaching?
I love working with the athletes. So, like I said, we have a lot of free time. And between practice from like 9 to noon is kind of when we're together, and then working with BU. The kids are great. It's something I've always wanted to do, and being a 6th year last year and kind of mentoring the freshmen, we were teammates, but it felt more like I was mentoring them and kind of helping them navigate freshman year and like giving them advice that I wish I had as a freshman, and being at the level I was in college, just to kind of give them that insight was a lot of fun. And Jordan Carpenter, the distance coach, reached out to our group and was like, if anybody's interested in coaching, I need an extra hand here and there. So it's just a volunteer position. I help out with workouts, just keeping splits, just having an extra watch on the 60 kids that he has.
Do you think it could be something you'd pursue down the road?
Eventually, I think so. I think that's something that I would like to do. I think I would like to be a head coach at D2 school. I love D2. I was there for 6 years, and I think I can navigate that scene pretty well. And I think
kids get to develop there, and I think it's I'm still old school enough to think that the big thing is the education.
Yeah, and go somewhere that you would love if you couldn't run there anymore. And I found that with Lee and Coach Morgan at Lee. We were very close, had a very individual training program. He does that with everybody. It's not a one size fits all. You go there and we figure out, what works for you. And I think he's got some of the best progression rates in the
Were
NCAA.
you surprised, did you always want to be a pro athlete?
It wasn't even on my radar until, I wanted to, but the results weren't really showing until my 5th year. Coming out of COVID in the spring of 21 was kind of where it clicked. And all the D1 athletes, they were doing their winter cross-country season for the first time. So a lot of the high-profile athletes were on the grass, and I had broke 2 D2 records, and I was kind of like the athlete on the track at the time because everyone was just running cross. So I got a lot of attention, and people had reached out, a couple of groups, and I started talking to agents. So that was kind of like the first time in spring of 21 when I was like, I could do this. Why not me?
Sure, yeah.
And I feel like a lot of kids are saying that these days. Why not me? Why can't I break 4? Why can't I, win an NCAA title? And that's why you see so many kids stepping up, and even high school kids. Why can I break 4? Why can I, do X, Y, Z? I think that the whole mindset's changing in track and field.
Will you be at the New Balance Nationals this weekend?
I will. I'll be there all day Saturday.
Cool.
So hopefully go see some awesome performances.
5,000 kids are going to be there.
Yeah, it's insane.
Totally blew my mind because I remember, when they first started it, and it's just like each year they've done it nicer, And a month ago when I was checking on how many people were involved, I got a call and said, about 3,000. And I got a call 2 days ago, Larry, there's 5,000 kids signed up.
And even with, another indoor nationals taking place this weekend, to have that kind of turnout is incredible. I mean, it just shows the reputation that New Balance has with high school athletes.
I think they've done, I was telling the brands a long time, and New Balance first started doing stuff with high school kids in 1990. They helped me with a meet in California. And I remember this kid, he'd run 14:28 for the high hurdles. And he got his first pair of New Balance spikes. And they were like purple and red and stuff. And I said, why are you wearing New Balance? And he goes, no one else has them. They're so cool. And it got me to thinking, kids love the color and what New Balance does, with the bags and
the gear.
Just have so much fun.
Make you feel special, and it's a cool environment. I did outdoor nationals in high school, and it's such a neat experience to go there and race against kids that you hear about on the West Coast. And being a guy from Indiana, it was fun to have those people come over to the East Coast and be able to race them. And
what high school did you go to?
I went to Mount Vernon High School in Greenfield, Indiana.
Oh yeah, okay. What was your coach?
Bruce Kendall.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been the head coach there for, I think, 45 years now.
Wow.
He coached my dad in high school. So
oh, neat.
My dad and I had the same high school coach. So
That's
what an
amazing.
awesome experience for us.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. If you had a room full of high school athletes, what would you tell them is the biggest misconception that kids have about going from high school to college and competing?
Yeah. So I've had a lot of kids reach out about, D2 and, college recruiting. And I just want to give them, I'm not trying to sway them to go to D2. I don't want to sway them to go to Lee. I would love for them to, make that decision on their own. But I give them a list of questions to ask colleges to make sure that they're being not just being sold on gear and the cool meets that they go to, because the gear is only cool for so many semesters. You want to make sure that how are the athletes progressing? How many athletes are hurt? Reach out to student athletes at the school. What was your mileage like in high school? And then what was it like your freshman year of college? Was what they said on the visits true? Will it be more individual training, or will I just get thrown in with the wolves day one? And then, some kids get hurt. We've seen a lot of high profile high school athletes go to college and the mileage just doesn't work for them. And the school recruits 10 studs, and if 5 of them make it out, that's a win.
I've seen that so many times.
The school's so respectable that kids will go there, and if it's not working for you, it's going to work for someone else. So you want to go to a program that works for you. And I tell kids that, go talk to the coach, make sure you and coach are on the same page. If he's only reaching out, once every couple months, maybe he's just throwing a huge net. Like Coach Morgan and I, we talked once a week, all the time. And I'm sure it was like a recruiting thing, but you just want to have a good relationship with your coach. Ask the right questions, do your research. Don't just go and get wowed by the basketball game or the football games or the party that you go to. Make sure it's a good choice. And I tell every kid that reaches out about that. And I wish I could tell more kids, or work with a organization that helps with recruiting.
Final question, what do you want to accomplish in 2023?
I want to make the World's team.
Okay.
Either in the 15, or if we, jump into the steeple, I think I can do it, and I know I can. And I've ran 335, split indoors, and I know I've got a 332 in me this season.
Cool.
And I think having the self-belief and the confidence that you can do that. And, I write my goals out, and I put them on the mirror, and I've got them on my background on my phone, and I look at it daily. And the more it becomes normal, the more I believe I can do it, and I think I can. And Mark sees that in me, and he tells me that I can make the team. And having a coach like that is amazing.
Oh yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing you compete this spring. Christian, it's really been fun talking to you. This is Larry Eater with RunBlogRun. We've got Christian Noble, New Balance sponsored athlete. He's being coached by Mark Coogan up at New Balance Boston, and he is specializing in the 1500 and the steeple, and we'll see where he goes this spring.